What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Friday edition of the Fantasy Football Game Show. We got a squad here ready for some Quotey McQuoteface and vague descriptions. I'm your host, Simon, joined by my co-hosts, the brothers, Joey Wright and Tim Wright. And joining us today, we have the chat historian and one of our best friends in this industry, Kraig Rueth, here with us. Kraig, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me. This is going to be a fun one. And like I was saying before the show, I always love your descriptions on this show. They're so fun to try to figure out what you're talking about. So excited to play.
That's the game that my fiance plays every day when I talk to her. Oh, I wonder what the hell he's talking about.
This man's just mumbling in a corner.
Yeah. Joey, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm glad Craig's here. Craig and I just spent, was it 4.5 hours together in Ohio sitting next to each other? And little folding chairs.
Yeah, it was about 4.5 hours doing the draft. Yeah,
in a single draft. It was super fun. So I'm glad to see him here. Glad to see Tim here. I see you every day, Simon. I mean, I'm glad to see you, but yeah. So I'm doing great. I'm having a great day.
Glad to see the chat here. Guys, well, if you are not already following our friend Kraig, you need to go and do that right now. You can find him on Twitter at RotoHeatCraig. Like we mentioned, if you're looking for some of that IDP content, he's got it on lock. He is my resource when I'm looking for IDP information in this space. And he's just a great guy, so you're going to want to follow him over on Twitter. After you do that, head on back over here to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing over here. And it is draft weekend, baby. It is coming down to the wire. Saturday and Sunday are when most of your drafts are, unless you're like most of my friends, and then they're all on Wednesday night, the last possible night you could ever have them. But we have a draft guide up there, declassified just for you on our website at frontyardfantasy.com. It's got all of our juicy analysis and some other stuff in there. So make sure you go to frontyardfantasy.com. Check that out for 10:01 if you would like to do so. The chat's in here and ready for Kraig to dominate. Jay, without the presence of our chat historian in the chat, is taking it upon himself, saying this is Kraig's 17th appearance on FYF. That has to be, if it's not the record, it has to be close to the record. You're probably number one on that list, Kraig.
It's tied with Nate as of this show. So Nate,
you and Nate tied for number one, 3-3 in games. And this is his first time playing Quotey McQuoteface in vague description. So going for that elusive winning record that not many people have here on the Fantasy Football Game Show today. Feeling good about it, Kraig?
No, because when I play by myself, I'm terrible. I have one win by myself. The other two wins are team poll perception, one of them being with Tim. So by myself, it's not a great record.
God, I'll have to say, every time I play with myself, I don't think it's terrible.
And every time I play with Tim, I also end up winning. So it works out pretty well. That is in any game, just so everyone's aware. Pick Tim as your partner. If you have an option as Tim or someone else as your partner, just pick Tim, even if you don't know what the game is going to be next. We got Herms in the chat saying, aha, I made it on time. What up, FYF friendos? Welcome in, Herms. Glad to have you here. We have JL in the chat with the boing, boing, boing. Unfortunately, JL licked far too many postage stamps yesterday, and his tongue is entirely dry. Just completely out of saliva. And I think the local pharmacy's out of stock until at least Sunday. So hopefully JL will be back on the show Monday with a fully moisturized tongue.
Dang. Spit in my mouth, why don't you?
I know, but he can't. Maria's weekend ruined.
Yeah,
we got, we got
I didn't say it.
No, I meant because Tim said spit in my mouth. It was specifically related to the spit in my mouth. Watch yourself, Simon. Watch yourself. Don't cancel me. Mr. Scampers in here with the hi. What's up, Mr. Scampers? Albert stopping by with the hello, everyone. And Jail, hyped to see Kraig and Tim up here. We got Dane in the chat with the yo. Happy FYFing Friday. How is that the first time FYFing has been said in the chat? I don't think I've ever seen it before. And Scampers in here said, oh, Vague descriptions. They are quite vague. We got Carlos stopping by in the chat saying front yardigans unite and hitting us with a Najee as a league winner. Before we get into our games, Kraig, I'm going to throw this to you. Do you agree with Carlos here? Maybe not to the full extent. I won't make you declare him a league winner, but are you in on Najee Harris this year for fantasy?
I am. I think his value is depressed based on a couple of things. One, how most of his season went last year, coming back from the injury, having the plate in his shoe, all that sort of crazy stuff. Towards the latter part of the season, he actually improved quite a bit. And, Jalen Warren's the other thing that everyone is just so in love with right now. Mike Tomlin, by and large, hasn't done a whole lot of using two running backs pretty evenly throughout his time there in Pittsburgh. We'll see if he ends up changing there a little bit, but I think they are going to try to initially rely on Najee and see if he is what they thought he was when they drafted him, a couple of years ago. And if he is able to up his efficiency a little bit, I think they're going to lean on him while they try to improve that offense.
Kraig, I'm with you. And unless you think Jalen Warren is just better than Najee Harris, which I don't, I'm kind of out on drafting Jalen Warren as that guy for exactly the reason you just said. Mike Tomlin likes his dude. We've seen him do it over and over and over again with backs less talented than Najee Harris. So I'm indeed with you. Mr. Scamvers in here says football is indeed so close. Tim, can you feel it?
Yeah, it's 5 days, 8 hours, 52 minutes, and 43 seconds away.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How far is it now, Tim?
39 seconds.
Thank you.
Oh my God, those 5 days happen so fast.
Kick off,
Shit. Oh, I don't even know if I have
Scott.
YouTube TV yet. We've got Dustin in here saying, let's go. Hashtag
I'm gonna
Team
win
Joey. And there are bonks going all around the chat for Joey and myself. Those are well-deserved bonks. Herm's in here. Said, good answer, Kraig. You're my best friend now.
Just for you, Herms.
Also, Carlos in here saying, first Joey's hemorrhoids and now Jail's moistless tongue. What is happening? FYF's bodies are slowly deteriorating. We did not pay for the upgrade over the past year, and we're seeing the benefits.
We tried to slow roll the announcement yesterday, but we're sponsored by CVS now. We tried to sneak it in there, but
Joey CVS, go get your tongue moisturizers at CVS.
JL, when you negotiate Joey's next contract, please, try to include some sort of health insurance in there for him so he can last, more than another season.
We'll do our best.
it's rough.
Do hospitals accept peanuts?
Yeah.
Just
Health
that's,
hospital.
little box.
Health
I
hospital,
tried.
maybe.
that's what we got a surplus in.
At this point, I would settle to go to an animal hospital. Like if they work on horses, they can at least work on me. I don't know.
Isn't there a South Park episode where they dress Butters up like a dog to try to get him into the veterinarian? You can just do that, Joey. Also, Jail said absolutely not. Sorry, Joey.
No.
That's where the bargaining is starting, but we'll go from there. Like I mentioned, we brought Kraig here today to play some vague descriptions in Quotey McQuoteface. Before we get into that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our friend Kraig, I said it once, I'm going to say it again now, and I'll probably say it again before the end of the show. Go follow him on Twitter at RotoHeatCraig and check out the work that he's doing and that entire team over at Roto Heat. They've got a killer team over there. Rick Butts leading the way, and Kraig absolutely killing it on the IDP front and running the creative over there as well. After you do that, checking out Roto Heat and Kraig's Twitter at RotoHeatCraig. Make sure you're here and playing along with us in the chat in today's game. And one last reminder, if you guys are looking for some last-minute advice as we go into the season or a place for all of your in-season news, you got a week to test it out, and you got a 7-day free trial waiting for you at fantasyalarm.com/draft. All of Coop's little secrets, Bender's cheat sheet, it's sitting right there waiting for you at fantasyalarm.com/draft. With that said, I think we're ready to get into our first game. You guys ready to start some Quotey McQuoteface?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The title is so descriptive, I hardly have to explain the rules, but I'm going to explain it a little bit anyways. Quotey McQuoteface is a game that's all about quote identification. We have 6 quotes from around the league said by players, coaches, personnel, staff, analysts. It could be anybody. It's mostly players and coaches. It's mostly players and coaches. Your job is going to be identify who said it and why they said it. There's 1 point available for the name of the person who said it, 1 name available for the context. If you miss either part of that, man, my words are not working well today. If you miss either part of that, your opponents are going to have the opportunity to steal. So, Joey, you're going to be going first in today's game, followed by Kraig, followed by Tim. Joey, if you do not know who said this first quote and you get it wrong, Kraig's going to have an opportunity to steal, and it will continue going down the line. So if Kraig misses it, Tim will have an opportunity to steal. We're going to go like this through 6 quotes, 2 of them being offered to each of you first before we move into our vague descriptions. You ready?
All right. Simon, throw that first quote at me. Full speed.
Also, Jail letting you know that we are not paying for the animal hospital either, Joe.
Yeah.
Those are also expensive. And but good news, we have a company physician. Jay's 4-year-old is going to take care of you, Joe. You just got to show up at their house.
Wait, is this why Brooks is always pooping in little cups?
I think so.
Because he's a doctor.
The treatment involves mostly trains. Is what that treatment involves. Exactly. It's a lot of train related treatment in there.
I have an ear infection. Why am I pooping in a cup?
Joey, here is your first quote up on the screen right now.
Holy
It's a long one. See, the thing is, they're going to entertain. They're going to show his part. HBO, whatever stuff is going on, Hard Knocks, they're going to show his part. They weren't even in the whole scenario of what really went down. They're going to show his side of the story. It's all about redacted at the end of the day. They sign him. It is what it is. They're going to show you his part and make me look like a sucker, but I ain't going for that.
Oh,
Joey, who said this and why did they say it?
Okay, I know it's about Aaron Rodgers. I'm pretty confident it's about Aaron Rodgers. I remember seeing this quote. I saw the whole clip. Oh God, who said it? Maybe I'm just thinking off. I'm completely blanking on who said it. I'm just gonna say, but Robert Saleh wouldn't say this about his own player. Oh, was it Jordan Love saying this about Aaron Rodgers? That's what I'm gonna go with.
Jordan Love saying this about Aaron Rodgers. Joey, you're going to get 1 point for that for correctly identifying the context, at least mostly. This is about Aaron Rodgers. He's the redacted name in this list. But Kraig, I'm going to throw this to you next. Joey has 1 point, but it is your chance to steal. Do you know who said this?
I don't. And I got 2 names that I'm thinking about. So I'm going to go with one that's harder to say. Of course, I'm going to go with Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM.
Brian Gucci Goo is incorrect, unfortunately, Kraig, which means, Tim, you have an opportunity to steal here. Do you know who said this?
I don't, but I'm guessing it's Zach Wilson. I mean, I just feel like that makes sense.
Zach Wilson is also incorrect, unfortunately. The person who said this quote was Jihad Ward on the confrontation with Aaron Rodgers as it was portrayed on Hard Knocks. They definitely had an Aaron Rodgers lean to that fight in the way that it was portrayed on there.
Where were you on that one, IDP boy?
I watched the video of it, but I didn't see any conversation about him, mainly because he's not a very big name in the IDP world. So maybe that just proves his pointer.
That makes sense since I probably drafted him in that draft.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, Joey, wasn't that your second round pick?
Yeah, I've heard about my IDP picks in that draft. I realized I was only there for personality. So but my offensive players, dynamite in that.
You had some good picks,
you.
and you had a couple that I looked. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say something in a room full of other people. It's not very becoming. But
I learned when I got home that I did not draft any defensive linemen basically in that entire draft that are actually playing this year. So, you live, you learn. What are you going to do?
Joey's the IDP mascot for the Kings class. You're a cute mascot. Dustin in here had a guess. Got to be Matt LaFleur. Scampers was in line with you, Kraig. Said Gutekunst about Aaron Rodgers. Carlos was in line with you, Tim. Said Zach Wilson. Jay saying, bless you, Kraig. Jail agreeing with me that it's pronounced Gucci Goo. I believe I saw the Packers official pronunciation guide recently. Scampers thought this was Anthony Fauci about Aaron Rodgers.
That's gotta be it. Points.
And Carlos,
Scampers?
Yeah, Scampers will put him on the scoreboard with 1 point. Carlos, and he said, I don't even know who you are, Aaron Rodgers. Joey, you got 1 point on this one. I wanted to ask you first. I feel like opinions are split on what the potential ceiling is for Aaron Rodgers this year. I feel like consensus is that he's going to be serviceable for fantasy, but what do you think the upside is of Rodgers in this Jets offense?
So earlier today, I was going to play some bets, and I was looking at Aaron Rodgers' touchdown total for this, 400-yard passing game total for the season, and it was at 3.5. And Vegas seems to kind of always know something, and that made me a little nervous for how much is he actually going to throw this year? Because they do have the Breece Hall there, and was it Dalvin Cook's there now too? That run game for the Jets with that defense being so good could be a lot more involved than we're expecting. I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers though, but it might not be, multiple 400-yard passing games, maybe some 300 games, maybe a 250 game here and there.
Greg, do you agree with Joey's prognosis of this Jets defense? Do you think it could be good enough to the point where it maybe hinders the upside of some of these offensive quarterbacks? And I guess pass catchers would be the ones mostly struck by it.
They have a really nice front seven. The defensive line there and the edge rushers have got a lot of young edge rushers that they can rotate to keep pressure on opposing teams. You got a good set of linebackers. Their safeties are a little bit of a question mark. They had brought Chuck Clark in. Yeah, he's out for the year. He got injured pretty much as soon as they brought him in. They got, Sauce Gardner, which is a great shutdown cornerback that we saw last year, and they got some decent depth there. So, yeah, I certainly think they could. The thing is, I hope for fantasy, it would be different if I'm a Jets fan, because if I'm thinking about it from fantasy, you want him to be in those shootout games where he has to be throwing the ball and their defense is giving up points. I don't necessarily know if you're a Jets fan, if you're hoping for that. And I don't think that's the reality of it. I think they're going to lean more on the run. And then if he has to be Aaron Rodgers later in games or later in the season, he's able to do that, we think, still. I don't think he's fallen off a cliff a la Russell Wilson last year, if that's truly the case.
I'm with you. And Tim, Aaron Rodgers has now preached about his ayahuasca usage to get in the right headspace. He's preached about his darkness retreats to get in the right headspace. Now that he lives in New Jersey and plays in New Jersey, maybe he lives in New York. I don't know. What's next? You're from New Jersey. Like, what is the wellness equivalent to New Jersey that he's going to discover while he's there?
Yeah, based on his history, I think he's going to wind up going hunting pigeons in Newark Airport. I think that's the next natural step. A la Joey when he went on his nature hike in his start sit salutations. He's
nice plug.
Yeah, I got you.
Usually it's just me plugging it, but thanks, Tim.
You're just gonna walk into the Newark Airport bathroom and Aaron Rodgers, and he's gonna have like a Bunsen burner cooking up the pigeon that he just caught in the terminal. Mm-hmm. That's gonna up his game. The secret to Aaron Rodgers' success in New York City, Newark Airport pigeons. Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to be a score of 1-0 for Joey after that round. But we got plenty of quotes left. Before we get into our next quote, we had a question come in here in the chat that I wanted to hit. Lyrically outspoken hitting us with a question. So I got a trade to give up Jonathan Taylor for James Cook. Do I do it? That is a spicy one. Tim, you're saying do it?
Do it. It's fun. I'm nervous about Taylor playing at all this year. Honestly, yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen. And James Cook, I've been high on him for 2 years now. So, yeah, do it. Send it.
Tim saying do it. Kraig, what say you on this trade? Because this is a scary one.
In redraft, I'm certainly going to consider it. In Dynasty, there's no way I'm doing that. I need something addition to James Cook. But, yeah, I mean, if you're really confident that he's going to be the main guy there in Buffalo, and you don't think Taylor's going to play a lot or any of the season, in redraft, I'd certainly entertain it. I really want to know, what other running backs do you have? If you have a whole bunch of second or other running backs, it might be a little bit more dicey. And also, with him being on I think Taylor's on the PUP list. I mean, you can put him in IR in a lot of leagues to open up another roster spot. So,
man, Joey, are you doing this?
I can't in good conscience do this. I want to, but yeah, it's too much. He could be back week 5. It's just too much to give up. I had another thought that was really good, and but I got the main point across.
It left. That thought has left the building. Andrea, you're saying hi, everyone. What's up, Andrea? Welcome, and glad to have you here. And we're going to move on to our next quote here. Kraig, this one is yours. Are you ready for your first quote of the game?
Oh, I remember what it was. Sorry. If you're in a 10-team league, I would do it.
There we go. 10-team, do it. 12-team, don't do it. Unless you're Tim, do it.
Do it.
Next question. Here's your quote, Kraig. He looked good. I didn't see hobbling. I didn't see much. He doesn't look like he's having any problems. When Joe's out there, it's a little more dialed in. He stayed positive about the whole situation. It's all about the health and how he feels. That's the most important thing this year. We want to get him back. Make sure he's healthy, 100% healthy.
Well, I don't know who said it or for sure who it's about. I am going to guess that it's about. I told myself, when he told me what we're playing, I should go and get some new headlines and see what's going on. And I went outside and drawed with chalk and played with my kids instead. So I'm really have no idea what's been going on in the world of the NFL the past few days. But I think it's about Joe Burrow. That would seem to make sense. And then who said it? Coach Zach Taylor.
Coach Zach Taylor referring to Joe Burrow's condition. is half correct. You got 1 point. You identified the correct Joe. There's a couple Joes and a couple Joes that are coming back from injuries, but you figured that one out. Craig, that's going to be 1 point for you. But Tim, you have an opportunity to steal. Who said this about Joe Burrow?
I have no clue. I have no idea. I don't know. We'll just say Jamar Chase. Why not? I literally have no idea.
Why not? Well, Tim, you're going to get yourself a point for that. Why not?
No
Right
way.
there. Jamar Chase is about Joe Burrow on returning to practice after his calf injury.
Oh yeah. What?
Tim, I was about to ask if you have any concerns about Joe Burrow returning for that calf injury, but I feel like you've had concerns about the Bengals offense as a whole for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not so much about the Bengals offense in general. I think it's more or less the fact that the AFC North, I think, is returning more to form, and it's been pretty down. It's been the Bengals' stomping ground for the past couple of years, but I really like the AFC North. The Ravens are looking great. I like I said, I think the Ravens are going to be the ones that take the division this year. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of fun, but you know,
when the AFC North is good, it makes the NFL more fun.
Absolutely.
I know I'm an AFC North fan, but it's my favorite division in football. The rivalries in there are sweet. It's just so much fun to watch those games, and you can never count out a Mike Tomlin-led Steelers team in there either. Nice job, Tim, and nice job, Craig. That's 1 point for each of you, making it a nice even 1-1 after 2 quotes. We had some answers in the chat. Lots of people knowing this was about Joe Burrow, but not many people knowing it was Jamar Chase, except for Ladarius down here.
Nice.
Getting the whole thing. Jamar Chase on Joey B. Nice job. Tim, are you ready for your first quote?
Let's do it. Let's see if I could get lucky twice.
See, I think we just take it a day at a time right now. We'll see. We want to be able to get him back right. We're obviously a much better team when he's available, but in his absence over the last handful of months, he's been out there leading in the way that he can. Who said this, and what were they talking about?
I have no idea. Okay, I gotta read. Oh, that's the worst. We want to be able to get him back right.
Sorry, Tim. I know this goes against your ethics to read.
I know. Shoot, you're right. I'm gonna stop halfway through then. I'm gonna say this is Sean Payton talking about Javonte Williams.
Sean Payton talking about Javonte Williams is wrong on both fronts.
I felt pretty good about that too.
I felt good about it whenever you said it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good answer. Too bad it's wrong, which means, Joey, you get a shot at this one. Who do you think it is?
I think it's about Kyler Murray. Wait. Yeah. Kyler Murray. Who said it about him? Marquise Brown saying this about Kyler Murray.
Marquise Brown saying this about Kyler Murray. Another situation that matches up with a quote that is not about him or said by that person, which means, Craig, it's on to you. The points are yours to steal if you know it.
His big descriptions, damn.
Yeah.
This is vague quotes.
Well, it's someone who's been out for a while, and of course my mind is going to fail me because I was thinking Kyler Murray too. So it's good to know it's that it narrows it down ever so slightly. Who else has been injured?
What's it going to be, Craig?
There's no way this is the answer, but I'm just for can't say that. Fun, just for fun, I'm going to say it's Jim Irsay on Jonathan Taylor.
Jim Irsay on Jonathan Taylor is a phenomenal answer that I want to give you 2 points for, but unfortunately incorrect. The chat was all over this one with Mr. Scampers leading the way. This is Sean McVay addressing Cooper Kupp's setback. Nice job, Scampers, Dame, JL, and Jay so close on the McCup on Vay.
I don't think he said that.
Other team.
The injuries just happened yesterday. Okay, I guess he's been dealing with off and on. Whatever, Simon.
He's been dealing with stuff.
Yeah, he just had a setback, but he'd had the injury for a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice job. Also, NKC stopping by in here. Nice job, everybody in the chat. You guys beat everybody on screen with that one, which means, Joey, we are back to you for your second quote. Are you ready for it?
Simon, I was born ready for this quote.
1-1. It is all tied up. What he did here, had a great career with the Giants and kind of took over. I was a fan when I was young watching him, high school, college, and now being here. But just with the jersey number, it's just one of those things I wanted to start my own legacy. Joey, who said this? And what were they talking about?
okay, what he did here, had a great career with the Giants and kind of took over. I was a fan when I was young watching him. Is it Darren Waller talking about Jeremy Shockey?
Darren Waller talking about Jeremy Shockey is a phenomenal guess, Joey, but
right.
Unfortunately is incorrect.
Thank you for telling me it was phenomenal.
Kraig, It is your turn to try to steal these points from Joey. Who do you think said this, and why did they say it?
I believe I know this, and if it's because I know it, it's because G-Man J actually sent me a trade for this guy that I ended up rejecting. But I think it's Jalen Hyatt talking about taking over the number Odell Beckham had on the Giants.
That makes a lot of sense.
That is absolutely correct. Kraig stealing the points away from Joey and out from in front of Tim. 2 points going your way for getting both of those. Jalen Hyatt on changing his jersey number to 13, OBJ's number. Nice job, Kraig. That's going to earn you 2 additional points, giving you a lead of 3 to 1 to 1 as we go into Tim's final quote.
I pieced that one together too. That's so frustrating because I think I know that it's 13. No way. No way. Stars
no way.
No way.
And then you just have to sit there while someone else gets the points.
Yep.
Actually, this is Kraig's quote. I lied. We have 2 more quotes left in this game. Kraig, are you ready for your next quote? You can extend your lead right here.
I am ready.
I don't want to be a holdout and hurt our team. It's no secret that I want to be a Buck for life. It's rare for players to stay, especially this day and age, to stay on a team for as long as I have. I just want to finish here.
Thanks for giving me this one.
So I believe it's Mike Evans, and I believe it's talking about the uncertainty of his future with the Bucks. I think something came out that he gave him a deadline of the 7th or 8th or something here to get a new contract figured out, or he's going to cut off negotiations with the Bucks. So Mike Evans talking about that is my guess.
That is exactly right. Mike Evans on contract negotiations with the Bucks. Kraig going to earn you 2 additional points, making a pretty commanding lead of 5 to 1 to 1 over your opponents here. Kraig, does this scare you for Mike Evans' fantasy value this season?
No, it doesn't. And Joey's much more the expert on the Bucks than I am, but he's one of those players that if someone is sort of feels quarterback proof in today's NFL, he's one of the guys. I mean, he's been out there and performed with a whole bunch of different players, the consistency with 1,000-yard seasons. I'm not scared of him going to another team. He's just sort of one of those guys, they've talked about, DeAndre Hopkins, where's he going to end up? He's sort of done the same thing. It doesn't matter where he goes. As long as he's healthy, he's out there producing. So it doesn't bother me where he goes, if he goes anywhere.
Joey, I saw you nodding along up there. You agree?
Yeah, I agree with everything Kraig said, except not bothering if he goes somewhere else. It would bother me quite a bit if he went somewhere else. I'd be very sad because I love Mike Evans. I celebrated quite a bit the night that he was drafted because we didn't take Johnny Manziel and we took Mike Evans instead. He is, next to Derek Brooks, my favorite Buccaneer of all time. So if he left, I would be sad. But yeah, I do think he is one of the best wide receivers I've got to see play the game as a Buccaneers fan. So yeah, I am all good.
I just like hearing people say nice things about Mike Evans. NKC, and you're saying hi, Kraig and Joey, if you hear me.
Yeah.
Well, they can't hear it until I say it, but now I've said it, so now they've heard it.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Unless they've got text to voice on for the YouTube comments playing in their ears while we're doing this, which would be the most distracting thing you could possibly do. The chat was all over this one, and Scampers in here says, "Shave your head, Mike."
I just thought of a side bet.
Shave your head. Are we shaving our heads?
No, the loser of our fantasy matchup in some league that we're playing in this year has to go one show without hosting, where we'll have Jay do it, has to read every comment in our ears while we're doing the show.
Oh God, in Jay's voice.
I don't know if it'd be good content though.
No, that sounds like awful content, but we're going to do it. Kraig, You got 2 more points on that one, which means, Tim, we are on to the last quote of Quotey McQuoteface. Your chance to gain some ground on Kraig here before we go into vague descriptions.
I hope it says, "Hi, how are you?" And that's the only quote that it is. That's great.
JL backing Scampers up. Shave your head, Mike. You hear us? Do it. Tim, here's your last quote. Things didn't work out in San Francisco for whatever reasons, but glad that he gets another shot, man. I don't know how the whole thing shook out and everything. While I was there, Kyle was going to call the plays for you. You've just got to go up there and execute them to the best of your ability. Who said this, and what are they talking about?
I'm guessing. I mean, the only thing I could think of would be Jimmy G talking about Trey Lance getting the boot for, scraps of a trade. That's the only thing that I think connects a little bit. So I'll go with that.
Well, Tim, how lucky that the only thing you're capable of thinking of is the correct answer. It is Jimmy G on Trey Lance getting traded to the Cowboys, baby.
Did you create that graphic, Simon?
Jay, our
That's
beautiful
wonderful.
designer Jay threw this one together for us. We wanted everyone to get the full look at
It looks like an actor playing a quarterback in a movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
Quarterback starring Jimmy Garoppolo as Drew Brees. Just kidding. What quarterback would Jimmy Garoppolo play in a movie if it was a real one?
Superman, probably.
Yeah.
Superman, the quarterback. NKC in here knew this one. Nice job on that one. And Herms was so close. Got the person instead of the context. Ladarius knew it was Jimmy G and Dame as well. Tim, that is going to bump you up 2 points, bringing you within 2 of Kraig. The score is 1-5-3 after that one. Nice job, everybody. Also, JL said, that's too good, Tim. Just too good of a description. Also, I see a question in here before we move on from this game from Carlos asking if the listener league has been decided yet. So the way we're deciding our listener league this year is it's going to be a random draw from everybody who has purchased our draft guide. So if you want a ticket in to the listener league, the FYF Declassified Draft Guide will not only help you get prepared for that draft, but it's also your ticket to get into the league. We'll let people know on Monday who the 13 people are that will be joining the 5 of us at FYF in an 18-man guillotine league that we're going to be running to determine the FYF Listener League champion.
Holy crap.
18-team guillotine leagues. It's one of my favorite formats, and I'm excited to play in it with you guys. And my other guillotine league I'm in, I drafted Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd round. So,
bye.
Yeah, I need a new one. Herm said if I buy it 20 times, do I get 20 entries? That is unnecessary. We'll just give you an extra entry, Herms. That was so sweet, the thought of it. Oh, Jay overrode me and said, yes, Herms. There we go. All right. Well, guys, after Quotey McQuoteface, the score of this game is Kraig 5, Tim 3, Joey 1. We're going to keep the order the same as we go into our next round. In this game, unlike Quotey McQuoteface, the name of it is pretty descriptive of what it does. It's called Vague Descriptions. I'm going to vaguely or poorly describe something. I'll give you the category that it falls in, and you're going to have to tell me not who said it, what I'm talking about, what the hell I'm trying to describe to you in a bad way. Joey, you're going to go first, and we're starting with the category movies. So these first 3 are all going to be in the movies category. Joey, here is your first one. What I want to know is, what am I talking about here in the category movie? Jason Bourne is stuck on a planet and lives on a diet of poo potatoes.
It's The Martian.
Yep.
Joey, this is The Martian. That's going to earn you 1 point, bringing you up. Do you have that one behind you?
I do. Let me grab it. So here's why I don't like movie questions, because there's extra pressure on me to get it correct. Serious.
Immediate pressure that you have to perform.
Yeah, like if I don't get the movie question right, it's even worse, as we've learned on Jeopardy the last year.
Dustin came in here and got The Martian. Nice job, Dustin. Mr. Scampers said Marvin.
Mm-hmm. That would work.
That's close enough. So, Joey, that's going to earn you 1 point, getting you a little bit closer. We're moving on to Kraig's next question. Kraig, are you ready?
I am ready.
Also a movie for this one. Your movie is Chubby Man Kidnaps Children and Forces Them to Form a Band.
Chubby Man kidnaps children and forces them to form a band. Oh,
when you say it like that, it sounds crazy, Kraig.
There's no way that I'm getting this. Force them to form.
Do you want to throw a guess out there?
High School Musical.
High School Musical is incorrect. Tim, you are next on the list. Do you think you know this one?
I do. The iconically Jack Black and School of Rock.
This is School of Rock. Jack Black kidnaps a whole class of children to make them perform in a rock band. Tim, where does that rank on your Jack Black movie ranking?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's a really good one. It's definitely up there near the top, I think. So we'll say number 1.
Number 1. It's probably number 2 for me. Kraig, what's your top Jack Black movie?
Holy cow.
That was a good one. Like
Gulliver's Travels?
Tenacious D.
I always forget. Is he Joey? You're gonna get mad at this. Is he the one
Sorry.
that goes to play in the crazy ping pong tournament, or is that Josh Gad? There's
No,
something.
that's neither of them. That's
Who is it?
God, I don't remember that guy's name.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's Jack Black.
I think it's both of them. I'm going to disagree with Joey.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda, dude. All those movies are so
Yeah,
good.
those are good. Was he in one of the King Kong movies?
He was in King Kong. Yeah.
We'll say that because that's what I was trying to think of.
Go with King Kong. Throw a monster one in there. Joey, do you have your favorite Jack Black movie off the top of your head?
So my favorite Jack Black performance is in High Fidelity, where he works in a record store. He is a force, and it's the first thing I ever saw him in, and he is unbelievable. And then he ends the movie singing "Let's Get It On," and it's like you see the slob for a whole half of a movie, and then he busts out like an incredible Marvin Gaye cover, and you're like, who is this guy?
Shit, I just remembered one that's going to bump School of Rock to number 3. My favorite Christmas movie, The Holiday. Jack Black is so good in The Holiday. I love him. He's so sweet and personable, and he makes me want to date him.
I have to amend my answer for my kids. The Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, true.
He is very good as Bowser.
Very
yeah.
good.
Yo, I might have to amend my answer as well after that. Jay down here with the peaches right there. And Herm's in here with the correct answer. I have said my number 2 and I have said my number 3, and that's because number 1 is unspoken. It is
great.
Nacho Libre at number 1, and there's no questions asked about that. The chat is in agreement. At Herm's, that is correct. Jay says that is correct.
Yeah.
Another hopping all over your ping pong movie with Balls of Glory.
Yeah, that was the
That
movie,
is
but I don't know.
Dan Fogler.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dan Fogler. All right, well, Tim, that puts you up 1 point behind Kraig, and it is your turn, meaning you have a chance to tie it up right here. Are you ready?
Apocalypse Now.
It is. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, no phrase guess.
Here is the movie. A girl ruins the chance for her younger sister to appear on national TV.
Girl ruins the chance for a younger sister to appear on national TV. Oh no. I don't even have any idea.
Also, while you're thinking about that, I see NKC in here saying I will be on every show now, not missing one in those days from September 7th to February 10th. Hell yeah, NKC. Glad that you're going to be in here hanging with us all season. It changes during the season. It gets exciting. The pace changes a bit. Okay, Tim. Who is this?
I can't. Little Miss Sunshine. I don't know.
Little Miss Sunshine is incorrect. Joey, do you know what this movie is? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, and I own them all. It's the Hunger
Games. Damn it.
Joey, this is the Hunger Games. Katniss Everdeen ruins her little sister's chance of being on national television whenever she volunteers as tribute and said, Joey, that is going to bring you up to 3 points. And I'm going to say, put you back in this game. You've got a chance to get within 1 and to tie Tim because this next one is going to be yours.
Yes.
You ready?
The Hunger Games.
Also, Jay wants to know, Joey, do you have Milo and Otis?
I don't, because as a child, that movie traumatized me when it shows a dog giving birth. And as a 4-year-old, I did not know what was happening. And so that movie has traumatized me for my whole life.
I remember one time my entire family, all the cousins, and it was like of varying ages, but cousins ranged from like 4 up to like 17 at this point. And we were all at the lake house and they had to clean it up and get us out there. And so 2 of the aunts and uncles loaded up all the cousins into some SUVs and took us to the local safari park where you drive through and there's like wild animals and you feed them and there's giraffes. Well, all of my young cousins learned about the beauty of childbirth that day because as we were walking around, one of them screams, "That deer's pooping another deer." And in fact, no more than like 6 feet from the vehicle, we watched a deer give birth with 16 cousins, most of them under the age of 10.
Did they give birth to Jim Carrey?
It was Jim Carrey dressed as a deer in the middle of the safari park. The chat was on that one. Hunger Games from Jay. Hunger Games from Dustin. Ladarius got it as well. And NKC coming in with Hunger Games. Nice job. And Dustin saying that is so horrible. Yeah, pretty horrible.
The original Hunger Games is called Battle Royale, and everybody should see it because it's a lot better. But I still like the Hunger Games.
Well, and if you want an even better version, The Circle on Netflix. Is that what that one's called, Tim? Where it's all just in one room and they never leave?
Yep.
Not very good, actually. All right. Well, Joey, here's your next clue, your next vague description. And these next ones are all NFL teams. So this is a vague description of an NFL team.
Okay.
USBCs of the heavens.
Oh, Angels, Chargers, because they're charging. Los Angeles Chargers.
This is the Los Angeles Chargers, Joey. Going to bring you up to 5 points, or no, 4 points, tying you with Tim and bringing you within 1 of Kraig. And I did want to ask you guys about the Chargers before we move on. Kellen Moore is in town there. We expect the offense to change. Kraig, I'll throw this one to you first. Who do you think the biggest beneficiary for a fantasy purpose of the offensive coordinator switch in LA is?
Justin Herbert is my first answer, where he's not going to be, doing this dinking and dunking, assuming the wide receivers stay healthy. They're certainly going to benefit if they get banged up like they have been, here and there throughout the years. They have some other guys. They have, Palmer, Quentin Johnson that are going to be able to be out there and hopefully catch those balls from Justin Herbert. But the way that Kellen Moore wants to play clearly didn't fit with whatever godforsaken plan Mike McCarthy has for the Cowboys this year. Just going to run the ball and run Tony Pollard into the ground, apparently. But I'm really hopeful for him, and I think Cowboys are going to regret letting go of Kellen Moore.
I tend to agree with you. And Justin Herbert, I feel like just the past couple weeks I've been like, are we like, I know he's QB7, but I think we're sleeping on him. I think QB7 is sleeping on Justin Herbert in this Kellen Moore offense. Tim, are you worried at all about the change in this offense for Austin Eckler? He's fed on those short yardage passes that Kraig mentioned were the bread and butter of Mr. Lombardi here previously.
I think Eckler is going to be fine. He has a really great chemistry already. I think he still has top 5 upside pretty easily. I'm
kind of like with what Kraig was saying about Mike Evans there. Like some players are just so good that they're going to get it done regardless. And I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I am hoping that there are some growing pains for week 1 because they play the Dolphins. I hope they suck week 1.
1 week of pain followed by 16 undefeated games.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Just let us win this game.
We got Carlos in the chat saying Pollard about to run for 2,000 yards this season. Kraig, you're a Cowboys fan. Are you in on Pollard this year? You just said that you think they're going to run him into the ground.
I am. I just hope he can hold up to what they're going to give him for the workload, because we haven't seen him survive that, either at college or usage in the NFL. I do think his efficiency is going to dip with how much he's going to be used, but with what we've seen so far, I don't think it's going to be enough to negate the newer workload and the higher workload that he's going to be getting. So if he's healthy, the sky's the limit for him this year.
I've been throwing out the DeMarco Murray comparison for what I think the Cowboys are going to do this year. So I went and looked yesterday. How much did the Cowboys give DeMarco Murray? I think it was 2015, was it?
It was the year right before I traded for him.
Yeah. It was 449 total touches that season in Dallas. That's insane.
That's absurd.
That's crazy.
Jay down here with Thumb Drive Jesus, and they're starting a band in the chat. That is a killer band name. And Scampers, I think, is playing the drums, or at least just clapping in the background to the music. Maybe it's an a cappella band. Also, NKC in here with Boo Cowboys. Eagles are the best. Well, debatable, but they're close to the best. At least that's what the results of last season said.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, Joey, you got that one right, which means Kraig, this next one is yours. It's an NFL team, and this is to extend your lead a little bit. What I need to know is what team am I talking about whenever I say bosses in the Paris of the Plains?
Oh, boy. Bosses.
The wide eyes when that showed up.
All right. Total guess here. Kansas City Chiefs.
The Paris of the Plains is in Missouri, and it is, in fact, the Kansas City Chiefs, Kraig. That's going to bring you up to 6 points, extending your lead, giving you a little bit of a cushion from your competition as they're trying to sneak up on you. Joey, I want to throw this one to you first. Are there any concerns for you about this Kansas City offense with Eric Bieniemy leaving? That we have not seen this offense without Bieniemy.
Zero.
None.
Zero concerns. As long as Patrick Mahomes is there and he's got Travis Kelce, this offense is going to be fine. They won't be the only two. I believe in Isaiah Pacheco, and Sky Moore could be a wide receiver 1. Like, it's that offense, as long as Mahomes is there, is A-okay.
A-okay. Well, nice job, Kraig. That brings you up to 6-4. Your total guess turned out to be right. And bosses, Chiefs are like bosses. And I tried to do something really condescending with like bud or buddy, but I just couldn't quite get it to work out. Okay, Kraig.
I'm not your pal, Chief.
Not your pal, Chief, and I'm not your buddy, pal.
I'm not your pal, buddy.
Tim, are you ready for yours?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous though because I got those first two, and now it's gonna be impossible. So let's do it.
I hope it's impossible.
Really cold FedEx employees.
Oh God.
Oh man.
I got it.
Really cold FedEx employees. I'm so dumb. I knew this was gonna happen. Really cold FedEx employees.
Also, Will down here saying Gronk will always be the tight end GOAT. Hey, for now, I agree with you. I haven't seen who's coming next, but I think Gronk's still above Kelsey at this point.
Kelsey, if he stays in the league, he's going to have a claim to it, just for longevity.
Come on, stupid, dumb.
Stupid Tim.
I can't think of the Browns.
That is incorrect, which means, Joey, you're going to have an opportunity to steal here. Do you know who this is?
I got this. FedEx employees they're Packers, the Green Bay Packers.
This is the Green Bay Packers, and they're cold because they're up in Wisconsin, and I've heard it's cold up there.
The frozen
tundra. Not right now, but it will be. We'll give it a few months. Well, Joey, that's going to bring you up to 5, putting you into second place, but there's still a lot of game left. Right. Score 5-6-4. And Tim, I wanted to throw this one to you first. How are you feeling about this Packers offense with Aaron Rodgers gone, their top wide receivers being, I know we saw Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs last year, but they're still relatively new to this offense. Do you think they're going to click? Because they seem to be more than willing to part ways with their Hall of Fame quarterback.
I am not as concerned as I think I should be, which I take that as you will.
It's me
but
every morning when I wake up.
like something bad's going to happen here, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned some of the weapons there. I think they have the safety nets of those two running backs, the Quad Father and Aaron Jones, and then their head coach is pretty crafty. I think they're going to be okay. I just want to see it. I want to see what happens, but I think it's going to be better than we're all thinking. I think it's going to be better.
Kraig, do you like any of the receiving options here for fantasy this year? There's been some love for the rookie tight end, Luke Musgraves, going around recently as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they actually change what they've been doing and use the tight end more as a receiver. The Packers really hadn't been doing a ton of that. They did a few years ago when they had Jared Cook, and then prior to that, Jermichael Finley is a different coaching staff, but they really haven't been throwing to the tight end a whole lot. Robert Tonyan, his big year was really based off of touchdowns that he caught. So I'm more interested in the wide receivers and then the running backs to start the season. Musgrave went out and, he earned that number 1 tight end spot. So he's going to be on the field. And if he gets that attention from Jordan Love and they have a connection, certainly he could end up being a surprise player, but not a whole lot of interest from me there. It's more the wide receivers. And I do think Jordan Love is going to be better than it seems like half the Packer fans think. Half of them think he's complete garbage and they shouldn't even have a chance. And half of them are saying he's going to be the 3rd Hall of Fame quarterback. It's got to be somewhere in the middle here because I don't think he's going to be a complete zero. He's probably going to be fine average NFL quarterback with some upside. So
that seems like the more reasonable approach, but home fans, especially on the internet, are not known for their reasonability when assessing their quarterbacks.
Yep.
The chat was on this one. Carlos with Packers, Dustin also with Packers. Herm so close with the Alaskan Bullworms. That's the Bikini Bottom team, not the Green Bay team. Ladarius with Packers as well, and NKC saying actually Packers. And then Tim, they're backing you up though, saying if it was Browns,
I was
UPS instead of FedEx.
I know. I was just.
But they're so cold that brown turned a different color.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Also, Herm saying Jordan Love, Jets starting QB in 2048, predicting a long career here. And Carlos loving the Utah State alum in there. All right. That was Tim's, which means, Joey, we are back to you with our next vague description, an opportunity to tie Kraig here. Are you ready for your next one?
Yes.
We are back into the movie category now.
Damn it.
Pressure.
Here is your movie. A waterbender and a selfish douchebag team up to bring back the world's heart.
It's Moana.
So read that again. Oh, I don't need to read it again. Joey, that is absolutely correct. This is Moana. Moana being the waterbender, and then the selfish douchebag being Maui. And they brought back the world's heart. Joey, that's going to be an extra point for you, bringing you up to 6 points.
Might be, without my choice, the movie I've watched the most times in my life because of my children.
Just over and over and over again.
My Tristan, she watched Moana at least once a day for a solid 5 months. Yeah.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah.
The chat was all over this one. I think maybe they've seen it a lot as well. Moana from Carlos, Dustin, NKC, and Ladarius. And Herm said Avatar with Donald Trump somehow. Very close.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could get that movie recreated, that'd be fantastic. Also, Jail said, too easy. Maui wasn't really a selfish douche. It was just a coping mechanism. A coping mechanism can still make you a selfish douchebag. From an impact standpoint.
Remember that part.
All right. Well, Joey, that's going to tie it up with Kraig. But Kraig, you have the opportunity to take the lead back here. Are you ready for your next one?
Not really, but go ahead.
We're staying in the movie category. John Wick is peer pressured into taking a drug so we can enter an alternate reality.
Oh, God.
The Matrix?
This is The Matrix. You're going to earn an extra point. I thought maybe throwing John Wick in there would completely throw you off, but it did not. Kraig, that's going to bring you up to 7 points and the lead, which means, Tim, you still got a chance here, though, because there is time left. Are you ready for your next clue?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Here's your next movie. 2 hours and 28 minutes of watching people take naps.
Bro, what? What? I have no clue. What? Watching people take naps. Is this really morbid and these people are dying? 2 hours watching people take naps. I have no idea. Is this The Happening? I don't know.
This is not The Happening. Joey, the movie guy, with
Fun
all
guess.
the pressure in the world to perform on the movie question. Can you steal this one?
I feel like
2
I got
hours
rocked.
and 28 minutes. I can't because I just saw it in the chat, and that is the correct answer, and I'm not going to cheat.
All right, Kraig, this is on to you. Joey passed. Do you think you can steal this one?
I can't. I'm going to say Cocoon.
Cocoon is incorrect, but the chat got this one. It is Inception. Inception is about 2.5 hours of watching people take naps. Mr. Scamper's got it. Carlos getting this as well. Ladarius with Inception, NKC with Inception, and JL saying, I'm mad I didn't get this. Yeah, that's like his favorite movie ever. And Carlos saying, if Joey doesn't get this, I'd like to officially challenge him to a movie duel. Hosted here live on Front Yard Fantasy next Friday. Carlos versus Joey. Movie versus movie.
I think Herm said something. I'm not going to lie. I still don't understand Inception. Neither does Christopher Nolan. That's my hot take.
I have fallen asleep. That's another movie. Yesterday I revealed one that I've fallen asleep during every time. Inception's the other one. But it's always on airplanes, and that's probably why I fall asleep. All right, Tim, unfortunately, you got that one wrong. We probably got time for rapid fire. One more round here.
Yeah.
Joey, this one comes to you. The category is board game. The category is board game. Force feeding 4 large mammals.
Hungry Hippos.
This is Hungry Hippos. Joey, going to bring you up to 7 points. It feels screwed by this game. He's going to file an official complaint afterwards. Kraig, this is your next clue to take the lead, potentially for the victory.
Come on, Kraig. Do it.
The category is board game. Tic-tac-toe with checkers.
Well, Joey knows it, so he's going to end up getting this. Tic-tac-toe. I know what tic-tac-toe is. I know what checkers is. It does not get me to the answer here.
You got a guess?
Parcheesi.
Parcheesi, while fun to say, is not the correct answer. Tim, you think you know this one?
No, I'm guessing Connect 4, but I don't.
Tim, this is Connect 4.
Okay.
Basically, just
that was a board game or
checkers
not.
down there. It's in that board game category.
Okay.
They get creative with the definition
sense.
of a board game.
Good job, Tim.
All right. Tim, this is your final one coming your way. You can make it more respectable by getting it, but if you miss it,
Sweet.
you
Oh,
give
crap.
Joey. Oh wait,
No.
you give Joey the opportunity to pull away and win this game.
Yes.
If you miss this question,
Craig, give me all of your good energy. We can't let that happen.
Tim, here is your final clue. It's a board game, spelling quiz. The game.
Is this Scrabble?
This is Scrabble, Tim. That's going to bring you up to
Oh,
6
Banana
points,
grams or something.
meaning
I was
the
thinking
final.
Boggle. I don't know why.
Ooh, that also would have been a good answer. Maybe this was too
Yeah.
vague, but Tim read through it anyways, which means the final score of today's game is going to be 7-6, meaning Joey and Craig, since I have no tiebreaker vague description prepared, you guys are co-champions in today's game. Count it as a W in the W
I
column.
love it. I love winning with Craig.
No, Joey. still
Anytime
lost.
Craig's on. Wait, tie goes to the guest. Craig's the winner.
Nope.
It
tie
goes
goes to
down in the
both of
rule
you.
book as a tie. So yeah,
Okay.
just
Our
because I'm in
official
charge of the
historian
rule
is
book.
here, Joey. You don't make those decisions. Craig
So,
makes those decisions.
I won't get a win for this. It'll be a tie.
There is a tie column on
3-1.
the official record.
I would rather
Yes!
lose.
Let's go.
3-3-1 will be Craig's new record
Yep.
here. Craig, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us today. We really appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's always great to be on with you guys. It was great to meet you guys in Canton a few weeks ago, and looking forward to seeing your NFL content this season. And if you haven't gotten it, go get that declassified draft guide. Like they said, it is seriously hilarious. And read through all of them. Don't skip any profiles.
I really appreciate that, Craig. And everybody, if you're not already following Craig, go and follow him on Twitter at RotoHeatCraig. He's a beacon of positivity, one of the funniest people on Twitter, and a great fantasy football analyst as well. That is going to be it for us today and this week, but we will be back next Monday. Yeah, we're streaming on Labor Day, baby, for some more fantasy football game show fun. Joey might have just learned that right now as he looked up. I'm just he's like, are there extra peanuts involved? There are no extra peanuts, but we'll be glad to hang out with you guys at 3 p.m. on Monday. Until then, though, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your drafts, and we are 1 week away from football. Adios, everyone.
Football. How many days? 5 days. 8 hours.
I really lost the button this time, guys. I could not find it. I'm on the wrong tab.